Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my very first collab review. I tried to do this 4 minutes ago. Caden was having internet issues, so we decided we would do this through Skype, which was a great idea, Caden.
Well, yeah.
And of course, let me introduce my guest to the show, the man who decided, man, you're not a man, you're a boy.
I'm a man.
Yeah, you're whatever the hell the name of the guy that sings that song is. Let me introduce my guest here. My guest, you all know him. I talk about him way too much in my reviews. Kane LaPlante, aka the Kid of Awesome. And let's get a little applause going here. Let's get a little applause going if I can find the fucking sound effects.
It's on Google Effects if you care.
What?
And make your life easier. It's on Google Effects.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Make your life easier.
Oh, whatever, fuck it. Okay, so what are we going to be doing today, Caden? So this is going to be our very first collab review for one of Caden's favorite shows. And the reason we're doing this is because Caden is a die-hard fan of the show. When I say die-hard, it is his second favorite show of all time. He's actually the one that got me to love this show.
On TV right now, I'll say it's my second favorite
Yeah.
show right now. It is definitely probably my top 5 shows of all time. Or I'll say it's my top 10 or 20. I'll say that.
So the show we're going to be reviewing is Doctor Who Season 7, Series 8, Episode 7, Kill the Moon. This review is already terrible. So I was really looking forward to this show. I thought I would check it out because Outlander just ended, and I figured, you know what, I want to start Doctor Who. I want to start watching this show, and I decided to. And overall, this episode was amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, I said in my review that it was the best episode so far.
Yeah, I think it was the best episode of the series.
Okay, you can say that season. But like we just say it's series. So,
yeah, you say it's like series for that. So.
Yeah, but the thing with me in the episode is I felt like it was the best episode because something I said in this my review and I still stick by it is that you can see that the people who make the show are trying to improve their mistakes and they're doing it. Like it's being successful.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're definitely like upping it up every single episode. The more tension,
Also, remember the first episode, the terrible dinosaur?
Oh yeah, that was terrible.
And now we have a extremely realistic moon.
Yeah.
Like seriously, the visual effects are getting better and better and better. Let's also talk about it.
Oh yeah, definitely. They really are getting better and better as it goes on. But let's just get to this episode, which I thought was just.
I also want to say one thing. Is that this by far had the best acting from somebody, but we'll get to that later. Also, that's the numbers.
Yes. Now, I had one issue with this episode, which we'll talk about, but let's just get to it. Basically, we see in the beginning, Clara's calling Earth and says they have a terrible decision to make, and the man who normally helped them is gone. And I was like, what? And may not come back. So, of course, I'm thinking, is it the doctor that she's talking about? Who she's really talking about here? And as Courtney's looking on, Clara finishes by saying they have to choose between innocent life and all of mankind, and they have 45 minutes to decide. 45 minutes, just like how long the show is. I thought that was actually a really good way to start because, it gets you really excited for the episode. It makes you just really want to see how it's going to continue.
Yeah, like, something with the Doctor Who episodes recently is they've been beginning with, like, what the fuck moments, kind of, in a way. Like the beginning of the caretaker episode is like a montage. You see my review for the caretaker, right?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like it begins, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It's like a montage, you know what I mean? But like, yeah.
Yeah, this was more of like it's like one of those like this is why this is happening type of episodes.
But that's still what the biggest what the fuck moment of this season so far is like the beginning of the first episode, like a freaking dinosaur in London.
Yeah, definitely. So the doctor wants to take Clara's student Courtney on a trip in the TARDIS. Now, at first, I did not know how to feel about Courtney. Now, I think she's hilarious. I think she's a hilarious character.
My thoughts on her in the episode The Caretaker, I kind of liked her character. She's not an amazing character, not one of like the greatest characters ever.
No.
But she, I guess, is enjoyable on the other hand.
I will say that she's probably my least favorite character.
Yes, I don't know.
I don't like how she's being featured so much. That's my only issue here.
I don't think she fits the show personally, like the tone of the show.
No, because like basically Claire is pointing out that Courtney stole his psychic paper and used it to buy alcohol, and the doctor barely remembers her. And Clara says that the girl admitted that the doctor told her she wasn't special. So Clara tries to explain that it hurts to say that to someone, which I thought was interesting. That he literally said to her face, "You're not special." I never would think the doctor would say that. Here's the thing about the doctor, though. This season, he is an anti-hero. He's a total anti-hero.
In case people care, my next video is going to be my 200 video. In case people care.
Here's the thing with that I think is interesting about Doctor Who. Not only does the doctors change, the personalities change definitely. Like Peter Capaldi is an anti-hero. Matt Smith was a hero.
Matt Smith I love to death.
Yeah, Matt Smith was definitely a hero. Peter Capaldi's Doctor, though, he's definitely more of an anti-hero. Like, especially a choice he decides to make in this episode definitely makes me think he's an anti-hero.
Like, here's the thing with me. I like the direction they're going in with the Doctor. But, like, after seeing this episode, I didn't say this in my review because I never really thought about it. But now I kind of am thinking this. Am I the only person who does not like Peter Capaldi as a doctor as much anymore? Like, at first I really liked him, but now I just like him. It's not an issue for me, but I just noticed it.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about why. So basically, the doctor asks if she wants to be the first woman on the moon. When Courtney does, he just leaves her alone. He's like, nope, sorry, I was just lying. I thought that was just like a very douchebag move. I'm like, seriously, the doctor's a douchebag in this episode.
Okay, here is what, I'm going to completely say this. The reason why I don't like Peter Capaldi as much is because I've been noticing something. His acting is sort of decreasing a little bit.
Yeah, like, I can barely understand what he's saying sometimes.
I know, right? Like,
it's like, hello, I'm a hacker.
Oh, well, hey, at least we know what he's saying. That's good.
Yeah. So once they arrive, everyone suits up, and Courtney steps out and finds herself in the storage room of a base, where she stays for the remainder of the episode. The doctor realizes that they're in a recycled space shuttle in the year 2049. What the fuck? He looks around and realizes that 100 nuclear bombs are stored there. An alarm goes off, and the doctor looks out, realizing that they're on their way to the moon. The shuttle comes in for a crash landing, and the doctor tells them to strap in. So right now, the episode's like really intense. And then we meet Captain Lundvik, and her crew come in, demand to know who they are. She refuses to answer the doctor's questions and says that she's not going to give them another chance. And they're talking, and the doctor is staggering around, testing the gravity. And he then tells Lundvik that he's a super intelligent alien that might be able to help her. She agrees not to shoot him, and the doctor then points out they both have normal Earth gravity and asks Lundvik what the matter is with the moon. And she admits that nobody knows, and the doctor figures out that alien technology is responsible, and it's causing chaos on Earth. And the doctor's wondering what she's doing about it. So Lundvik then takes down a detonator and says that's what we do with aliens. And that was like, what do you mean they? Who is they? That's what I was wondering. Yeah, like, I think her character was definitely really interesting. Honestly, here's my thing with Courtney. I would rather have Dr. Lundvik as a character, because I liked her character. I wasn't a huge fan of Courtney, but I liked Dr. Lundvik as a character. I thought she was pretty awesome in this episode. The group goes out on the moon's surface, and Courtney's looking around. She's just amazed. And Lundvik explains that a Mexican mining survey came up and then disappeared. So they reach the survey base, discover it's covered in cobwebs, and Lundvik sends one of her men, Henry, back to prime the bombs. She has to spell out the procedure for him, and after he leaves, admits they're struck with a second-hand shuttle and third-hand astronauts. The others go inside. Lundvik confirms that there were 4 people on the survey mission. 4 people. And there was no Mayday messages. All is in back with a few screams, and Lundvik confirms the survey moon mission disappeared 10 years ago, and that Earth couldn't afford to send a rescue mission until the moon's mass increased. So I was like, okay, I guess there's something wrong with the moon. I'm wondering if, Doctor Who is sort of like predicting the future. It'd be interesting to see if this is actually the future in 2049. I doubt it will be, but you never know.
Is that the doctor travels through space and time, so
yeah.
Because it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, but they're kind of predicting the future.
Well, the thing with the doctor is that he sometimes he goes into the future to stop events happening in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sometimes happens.
So then what happens is that Courtney finds a cocoon corpse. She finds the spider from Enemy. And she starts screaming. So yes, this is a prequel to Enemy. No, just kidding. It's not.
Did we really? Kevin, I think we just spoiled that. We didn't exactly. We hinted at these spoilers.
Yeah, there's the spider at the end of Enemy. We're not going to explain why.
Kevin, really, buddy, really? Really just ruined like the second best movie of the year for everybody.
The second best movie of the year is not Enemy.
Oh my god, right?
The second best movie of the year is Under the Skin.
Like, can we just stop talking about movies?
Okay. So one of the other crewmen, Duke, goes to restore power, and Clara's trying to calm Courtney down because Courtney's like freaked out. Obviously, she saw a spider. That's common. Would you be freaked out if you saw a spider?
Okay, I don't like. Here's the thing with the spiders. They were generally like the way they look were freaky.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that whatever they call it, like that drone in the caretaker. It was freaky. It was really menacing.
You mean the ones that are like exterminate?
No, those are the Daleks.
Oh, okay.
But like these like spiders, they were actually scary. Like the design of them were actually.
Oh yeah, they were like freaky.
Actually gonna jump at it because when the spiders came with the strands and like my jaw like went like
Imagine if this was in 3D. Honestly, imagine if this was the episode they chose to show in theaters.
an IMAX, that would be amazing.
It'd be amazing, but like I'd be terrified.
Yeah, that's the thing though. I would have loved that.
Mm-hmm. Like, why did they choose to show the first episode in theaters?
I know, because he was like, I was originally gonna go, and yeah, but I said to myself after watching it, I would only see this just to see the Matt Smith cameo.
Yeah.
I'm very happy my first Phantom event was out of the way.
Mm-hmm. By the way, it's Fathom events, not Phantom events.
Phantom, whatever.
Phantom of the Opera. Okay.
Phantom of the Opera.
So the others continue exploring, and the doctor speculates that whatever killed the survey members was curious to see how they worked or how they tasted. The power comes up, restoring life support, and they remove their helmets. And I was like, you're kind of in space. If you remove your helmet, something bad could happen to you.
Well, like they had like gravity and oxygen. So.
Yeah, but still, like, you never know. There could be like a giant meteor.
Well, here's the thing, Kevin. In space, if you're like in like the chamber or something, you can take off your helmet. But when you're like outside, you have to put your helmet on. So you oxygen.
So the doctor's accessing the mission records and reporting that they didn't find any minerals on the moon. And so there are mapping photos showing lines of tectonic stress, and the doctor realizes that they're much larger than before. Lights are flickering.
Okay. You don't need to make it more practical. It's not like it's a 4D review.
And the doctor tells the others that the moon is in the process of falling apart. Sorry if that creeped all of you and I gave you a seizure. I'm sorry, Caden. Okay, enough of that. So, the moonquake rocks the base. Outside, Henry stumbles. Who is Henry? Who is Henry?
Henry from was he in that show Touch with Keith Sutherland?
Henry from Once Upon a Time.
Oh, Henry. Okay.
Outside, Henry stumbles on his way back to the shuttle and tries to check it. He sees something moving in a nearby cavern, and it hesitantly approaches it, and a spider-like creature crawls and attacks him, and that, like, freaked the fuck out of me. Like, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that was really scary.
Because then they went to commercial.
Yeah, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah. So in the base, the group hears something squeal in the distance, and Duke checks in and confirms that he's working on the power and that he didn't make the noise. Another of the spider creatures enters the chamber, and the only other door is locked. So the doctor tells everyone to freeze, realizing the spider senses movement and finds another entrance. So they slowly walk toward it, but before they can get there, an unwitting Duke walks in. Spider kills him, and I was like, wow, they just killed off a character, like, and we're only like 20 minutes in. So
I still wish they kept the beheading scene in the third episode.
I know, like, that would have just made it so much better. So the power comes up, unlocking the first door. The others run through. The gravity starts to go. Courtney drifts up into the air, or unable to follow them. The doctor locks. The door locks, and the doctor tries.
In case you care, they released a teaser for season 4 of House of Lies. I don't know if you care, but just fine.
I don't care. I heard it's the worst show on Showtime. The doctor tries to get it open as the spider moves towards Courtney. He finally removes the window, throws his yo-yo to Courtney. Yo. and pulls her toward him just as the gravity comes back, and she falls to the floor. And I knew something that was going to happen to Courtney. I knew it.
Oh, by the way, Kevin, like your little box,
Mm-hmm.
like just like up, like on Skype, just like make it bigger.
Yeah, I should make it bigger.
And also, make sure people can't see your contacts.
Yeah, no one can see my contacts. I don't think. Oh yeah, they can.
Yeah, just put it on.
Yeah, don't ask me about my contacts.
Yeah.
You don't need to see that.
Yeah, just continue.
Yeah, you guys don't. I don't really think they really care.
Just continue.
So the doctor scans the spider and discovers it's a large germ. It's not actually a spider. It's actually an alien spider.
I'm not germaphobe, so get away from me, spiders.
So Courtney drifted up and then crashed down because the moon is now an unstable mass, and the mass shifted. And Lundvik confirms that Duke is dead. In shock, talks about how he had just had his first granddaughter, and Courtney asks if she can go home, admitting that she's very scared, which any person would be, honestly. I'd be terrified, honestly, if that happens.
Yeah, I'm afraid of heights.
Yeah, I'm afraid of a lot of things.
Kevin, do I need to talk about your fears after this?
No.
Listen, and it'll be good.
Yeah. They head back to the shuttle. Clara warns the doctor that that it's dangerous now. He tells her that life is dangerous, but she finally makes him understand that Courtney's only 15. He takes her, which I thought was interesting. She did not look 15 at first. Then when they revealed she's 15, I'm like, oh yeah. But at first she looked like she was 20, and then she's 15.
She was kind of 15.
Well, I didn't know that. Because I didn't see Caretaker. He takes her to TARDIS and shuts her in. Clara points out that there's no reason to stay because she's been in the future and knows that the moon is still there. And the doctor warns that there are some moments in time that he can't see. And he doesn't know what will happen because what will happen to the moon hasn't been decided yet. And they will decide. So Lundvik's overhearing them. And she tells the doctor and Clara that neither of them are going anywhere because she needs to help them save Earth. And the doctor realizes the decision has been made, and Clara agrees. So in the TARDIS, Courtney's pacing around, tapping at the console briefly, and then sits down, as you say, anyway. Anyway, this happens, and then this happens, and then this happens. So the Dr. Clara and Lundvik go to the crater where the Mexicans were running their survey, and they find more webbed corpses. And a spider then attacks the doctor. I'm like, doctor, don't die. Don't die, doctor. I mean, that actually would be a cool twist. Yeah, totally. That's totally how the show's gonna end. Clara sprays it with the cleaner, forcing it to retreat into the caverns. Yeah. She remembers that sunlight acts as a disinfectant, and the doctor has Lundvik shine her light into the cavern. There are hundreds of spiders inside, and the doctor suggests that they've always been there. He's feeding and evolving, and he dips his yo-yo into a nearby tunnel and comes up wet. And the doctor explains that it's amniotic fluid. The Time Lord then tells Lundvik to get the bombs ready, while Clara goes to the TARDIS to make sure her and Courtney are safe. So she leaps into the tunnel, and I thought this was like the first thing that really showed how much of a hero Clara really is. Like, Clara really, she was the heroine of this episode. Even though the doctor is the hero, she's a heroine. She is. She's just as much of a hero as the doctor, and I like that they showed that, because a lot of times people say, oh, you know, a female sidekick is just there so guys will watch it, blah, 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 blah. But that's not true. Yeah, definitely. This episode showed that Clara needs to be there. Like, imagine Doctor Who without Clara. I could not imagine it.
Clara's like one of the best, my personal, like she's one of the best companions I think ever.
Oh, definitely. So Lundvik wonders if he'll be back, and Clara reluctantly says that he will. So Courtney calls Clara from the TARDIS and says that she's bored. So Clara says that she'll be back soon, and Courtney explains she's putting off some. I thought this part was really funny. She's putting off some of the photos she took on Tumblr, some of them of the doctor, and the doctor's like, don't put up photos of me. I thought that was hilarious.
Kids, don't use Tumblr. It's actually dangerous.
I actually have never used that. That's the only social media thing I've never used.
Well, I don't want to. After watching some of Shane Dawson's videos about Tumblr, I don't want to use Tumblr.
Yeah, I've never actually used Tumblr, believe it or not. I have, you know, everything except for Tumblr. And I tried Tumblr once. I didn't really like it. It's just like blogging about shit. I'm not into that at all. That's what fan fiction's for.
Yeah, like Facebook and like Vegas are kind of better at that.
Yeah, fan fiction's for like fan things. Meanwhile, another moonquake goes off, and Lundvik finds Henry's corpse. They spot the shuttle surrounded by a crevasses, however you pronounce it, and another moonquake sends the vehicle into one of them. The Doctor emerges from a tunnel and assures Clara that the TARDIS and Courtney are safe. They return to the base and call the girl to make sure that she's okay. And then the Doctor explains the spiders are actually bacteria living on something very big. And this, I thought, was just an awesome twist. This made the episode 10 times better. The episode was already really good, but this just made it 10 times better. I love this twist. We find out the moon is actually an egg for a creature that has been waiting 1,000,000 years to be born, and it's the only one of its kind. Now, I thought that was a genius twist, what they did.
I praised that twist so much in my review.
Oh yeah, because it just made the episode so much more interesting. Because it's like, oh, holy shit! Basically, the moon's gonna, something bad's gonna happen to the moon, and they need to fix this. That we need to see what's going to happen here, because if something really bad could happen here. So I thought that was really interesting. And honestly, at this point, I thought they were going to end this episode off on a cliffhanger. I really felt they were going to.
And also, plus, I would never predicted a twist at that. It's like that the moon's basically dead.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Emergency Awesome, I saw in his review, he said they did something that'll like change that's like one of the biggest events that we've never seen. And I think definitely I agree with that, definitely. So Lundvik asks how they can kill it, and the Doctor tells her that nuclear bombs should do it, and Clara and Courtney both object, but the Doctor assures Lundvik that they want that once they kill it, the moon will stop breaking up. So that I thought was good. So Lundvik says it's killing people, and it starts arming the bombs. So Courtney begs the Doctor let her come back so that that she can help. The Doctor tells her how to program the TARDIS to come back. So Clara's asking the Doctor what they should do, and he said they should do nothing. I'm like, what? Like nothing? That's the moon's gonna explode. Just do nothing.
Captain, I don't think we should do nothing. And for the rest of this, I think we should call this nothing review.
Yeah, just this is nothing. You're nothing. I'm nothing.
We're all nothing.
I'm not actually talking to you. You're just a figment of my imagination. That was a joke that Kaden came up with. Weird conspiracy theory. Mm-hmm. You just spoiled the ending of the Fight Club.
No, I didn't. I still am dead.
Yeah, you did.
Oh my god.
So he explains that civilizations have key moments when they must make decisions that will affect their entire destiny, and they must have the weapons to kill the creature. So Clara asks for his help, but the Doctor points out that, and I thought this was interesting. He talks about, look, we went to Berlin, they didn't kill Hitler. So that was interesting because he's basically telling her, look, we can change history here. If we can do that, we can stop this from happening. I thought that was good because he's encouraging her at this point. He's encouraging her and saying, look, you can do this. I know you can do it. And, I thought that was interesting. So then the TARDIS arrives, and Clara asks if the Doctor is just going to stand there, because he's doing nothing. I'm like, what are you doing? Honestly, after this, I did not like the Doctor as much. Honestly, this really made me feel, after this, I'm like, the Doctor is an anti-hero. He really is. He's doing nothing. Like, the Doctor's lazy. Why is he so lazy? That's what I want to know. He tells them that they have to make a decision for themselves, goes in the TARDIS, and he departs. Just disappears. He leaves them there. I'm like, what? So basically now it's all up to Clara, which was awesome because this really made me love Clara more as a character. So more moonquakes are shaking the base. Spiders crawl out of the tunnels. Lundvik prepares to detonate the bomb and asks if they agree. So Clara insists on discussing the situation if the moon no longer orbited the Earth, and Lundvik points out that regardless, the creature's birthing pains would send debris toward Earth. Even if the debris didn't prove incredibly destructive, they'd have an exoparasite orbiting the planet. When Clara says that she doesn't want to kill a baby, Lundvik points out that all the babies on Earth will be killed. I thought that was it. That reminded me of like 2001: A Space Odyssey. I'm like, is that where we're going here? Because like, think about it. Every single baby is going to be killed. So Clara says she doesn't want to kill a baby, obviously, because Clara would never do something like that. So Lonnie points out all the baby. Oh, I just read that. Well, you spoiled Fight Club. I spoiled 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Yeah, we're there. Two of the biggest fists ever.
Yeah, should we just spoil Gone with the Wind, even though I haven't seen it?
Just get the fucking review.
Okay, she sets the timer and says that they have 60 minutes, and that, well, I guess the episode's gonna be 2 hours.
Or maybe it's another edition of 60 minutes.
All right, enough of that. She never expected to survive. Courtney figures that the doctor will come back once they make up their minds and asks Clara if he will. But Clara's not so sure. She's wondering if the doctor's ever going to come back. And honestly, I thought it would have been a good twist if the doctor just abandoned them and like the rest of the season's all Clara. That would have been cool. Yeah, that comes with my complaint of the episode, which we'll talk about. So Clara's calling Earth and says they have a terrible decision to make. And this is basically the scene. This is the same scene we just saw. I thought this was actually a very well done monologue when we find out what she's actually saying. Because here's the thing, she's talking about how now when she said the man was gone, I was thinking she was saying like the doctor is hurt or something. I didn't think she meant he was gone. So I thought this was a very interesting scene, the way that was done. And I like the way that in the first way they showed it in a very intense way. And the second way they showed it in a much more like heroic and emotional way. I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because like I really like that. And so 40 minutes are remaining. And the 3 women go to a port and watch the lights on the Earth. Lights slowly go out. 5 minutes remaining. Earth just goes dark, completely dark, and like that was scary, honestly, because like it just went dark. So Lumley prepares to trigger the charges. Clara hits the abort button, not abortion. The TARDIS materializes, and then the doctor comes in, and I'm like, oh, so now you come in, okay. So the captain's assuming he's taking them to Earth and is furious that she couldn't die to save her people. And he tells her that no one's going to die and materialize on a beach on Earth. They step out and watch as the moon cracks apart, the shell disintegrates harmlessly, and the creature flies away. So Clara wonders if the doctor knew all along this would happen. And I thought this was probably, well, not yet, but pretty soon we're going to get to the best scene in the episode. I'll get to in a second. But basically, Clara asks if the doctor knew all along that's what would happen, and he merely said that they made their choice ignoring humanity. So Lundvik asks what happens now, and the doctor's concentrating and remembering, and then says that humanity starts exploring the stars, spreading through the galaxy. Earth endures and humanity spread because in 2049, it looked outward and saw something beautiful, and someone just decided to spare its life. Courtney looks up and points out that the creature laid a new egg, and the doctor says that someone deserves a thank you. Lundvik agrees and thanks Clara for stopping her. So I thought that was a good scene. And then we get to what I thought was the best scene in the entire episode, and maybe the best scene of this series so far.
Oh, yes, definitely.
This is probably the best scene I've seen in any Doctor Who episode. I was not expecting them to do something like this. Honestly, in my opinion, this should have been the final scene. It really should have.
It really should have been.
Because, like, these last 2 scenes, we don't even really need to talk about them. The TARDIS returns to the present. Clara sends Courtney out, and you think this is how the episode's going to end. You think it's just going to end with everything being happy, but it's not, because Clara is pissed at the doctor. She stops the TARDIS. Stops it. I thought that was huge, because it's like she stops the TARDIS, and she demands to know what he knew, and he claims that he didn't know what happened, but she doesn't believe him. She's completely on him at this point. And the doctor says that they knew the creature wouldn't destroy its own nest, that it wasn't his decision to make. And Clara wonders if he did it or Courtney. And the doctor says that now the girl is something very special and will eventually become, this was huge. Courtney is going to become the president of the United States. Like, that's huge, because she's going to be the first woman president ever. And I'm wondering if the show is actually going to do that. Like, we're going to see that in like a season of some sort. I'm wondering if we're going to actually see that. So he insists that he didn't know what happened, but Clara doesn't know if he's lying or not. She says that, and I agree with what she says here, it was cheap and patronizing, and admits that she almost didn't push that abort button because of what he said to her. So Clara tells him to clear off and to not come back, and walks out. And I thought that was just, I got it. Jenna Coleman, oh my God. Oh my God. You can say, oh, totally. By far the best British acting. By far the best English acting. She is like the best English actor in the business right now.
Oh my God, yes, definitely.
Yeah, that completely changed when it came to the acting, at first I'm like, okay, the acting's really awesome, but that was an emotional scene. I thought that was really well done. But then, of course, this next scene, I was not the hugest fan of. We see Danny for the first time in this episode. Not for the first time in the show, but like for the first time in this episode. Yeah, he didn't even need to be there. He's just telling her how. Oh my god, it's the Riddler. Oh my god. Yeah, here's the thing with Danny. I would have been fine if it was a cute Clara and Danny scene. I would have been fine with that if he wasn't her conscience. Basically, he told her what. Basically, he was just like her conscience.
Well, like he's giving her for advice.
Yeah, but like basically, he just told her what to do. Like he said that she's unhappy. He says that he felt the same way when he left the army, and Clara insists that she's done with.
But dude, he has like PTSD.
Yeah, I understand that. And Danny points out that she's angry and no one's finished with someone when they're angry with them. This, to me, felt like it should be at the end of next week's episode. This is what that scene felt like to me. It should have been at the end of last week's episode. Because, honestly, I would have wanted to see them continue the storyline of Clara being pissed at the doctor, and they had to just abandon it. I personally was not a fan of that. I understand, you have to keep the story going, but this show does not have a recurring storyline. It would actually be cool to see them have a recurring storyline of that. And I'm wondering if they're still going to show that in the next episode, because Clara seems to have calmed down a little bit. I don't think she's 100% happy with the doctor, because it just ends with her pouring across the line.
I didn't see anything about her being calm at all, because I know there's going to be some sort of thing about it in the next episode. I didn't say like they're completely down with it. I said they're probably going to continue it.
Oh yeah, there has to be something with it, because you can't just tell me, oh, that's the end of it. That just can't be the end. There has to be more of it. But overall, what did you think of this episode?
I thought it was amazing, and also the ending of the episode, her going home having a glass of wine, staring at the new lake.
Yeah, honestly, that was just a stupid ending. I was not a fan of that ending.
How it ended, though, with like her looking up.
I like that it was her. Okay, here's the thing. I liked her looking at the moon thing, that she accomplished something and knew, hey, I'm a heroine now. But here's what I would have wanted this episode to do.
Okay, here's the I said in my review, which is also up by the way, give a shit. I did like the ending. I did like that they showed all that kind of stuff. I just feel like it should have been the episode.
Yeah, I'm not saying I didn't like the ending. What I'm saying is that I felt like the ending, what they did was they should have had, Clara kind of be on her own for the rest of the episode, and then maybe have the doctor come back at the end and then give him that really big speech. That would have been a really awesome way to end it, because it would be like really surprising in my opinion. And honestly, I would have just liked it if Clara just said, look, I'm done here. And that's how the episode ended. That would have been really cool. And I wish the Doctor Who, I know that they're never going to do it, but I really wish that they go on a cliffhanger. I know it's not going to happen, but I personally want them to.
Well, they kind of have, like, they only go on cliffhangers really with, like, generations and stuff.
Mm-hmm. They only go on cliffhanger when he changes. Oh, also, the Doctor actually talked about that. He talked about how I'm wondering if he's kind of getting tired of regenerating. He says, I keep regenerating and regenerating. He kind of gave a speech in the beginning of the episode about it. And I'm personally wondering, do you think the Doctor is getting tired of regenerating so much?
I know, maybe it is, because, he's regenerated so much.
Yeah, because, like, he can't die. And I think he's sort of getting tired of it because of how old he's getting. He doesn't want to, like, live forever.
Well, he hasn't regenerated that much, because this is kind of like a different series in a way.
Yeah, but still, he's very old now, and I don't think he wants to, like, has as much of a purpose to live as much. Like, I think he wants to live, but not as much as he once did.
Yeah, definitely.
And we just got a comment, I believe. Yeah, we actually just got a comment. It says, I heard you, but I can't hear the kid. Okay. It says, I hear you, but I can't hear the kid.
Okay, let me look.
It can't hear you, apparently.
Let me watch the thing.
No, he's very old now, and I don't think he wants to, like, has as much of a purpose to live as much. Like, I think he wants to live, but not as much as he I can hear you.
Yeah, because you can sort of hear it.
Yeah, it's fine. But that's basically it for this review, guys. Overall, great episode. Also, the visual effects in this episode, holy shit, they were fucking awesome. The visual effects were by far the best part of this episode. That is what made this episode so awesome, in my opinion.
Definitely.
Well, I think actually the best part was seeing Claire take over. That was the best part.
Yeah,
and
but one of the best parts of the episode was definitely the best.
Oh yeah, it looked like actual space. It looked like they went into space.
No, not really. But for TV, it was pretty good. I will say for Doctor Who, that was really
Okay, it was not as good as 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Or like Gravity or anything,
but it was still amazing. Amazing effects. Acting was great. The screenplay was so good in this episode. Such a good screenplay.
So many fantastic lines. I was retweeting so many of the lines.
I know so many great lines, especially the line about him regenerating and the line about how if we can I love the line where he says, if we can not kill Hitler, then we can do anything. I thought that was a really good line. And of course the line of Clara giving that address to everyone saying, hey, we're gonna be okay, we can do this. And her sort of deciding that she needs to press that abort button, and at first she's hesitant. I just thought the episode was just very well written, in my opinion. I had no issues with the writing. Again, my only issue is I really hope they drop Courtney. I really do. I like her as a character, but she does not need to be there.
Yeah.
Honestly, I felt she did not need to be there personally. I really felt like she didn't.
Same.
Because here's the thing, I like the twist of her being a president, but she adds this humor to the show that I felt this episode did not need.
Yeah, definitely.
This episode did not need as much. I understand you want to keep it going, you want humor, that's fine. Doctor gives out a few lines, that's fine. Things like that. Doctor always has funny lines, but Courtney just feels like a character that does not belong there. She feels like a character that's from some MTV show. She does. She feels like she's like because she's talking about social media. Doctor Who does not seem like a show that should be doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
That really was my only flaw. And Danny did not need to be in this episode.
Danny is still one of the best characters.
Oh yeah, Danny's a fantastic character, and I gotta say, they really have done a great job with adding Danny to the show and incorporating him. They've really done a great job with him, definitely. But that's basically it from our review, guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed our first collab review. We will be doing this every single Saturday. Sorry if you couldn't hear Kane as well. We had some connection issues. Maybe next week we'll be able to actually do this on Google Plus.
Yeah, hopefully next week.
God forbid this actually works out. But let me know what you guys saw this episode, and I'm really happy to be doing Doctor Who reviews. I'm really enjoying the show. I'm very happy I started watching it. And I will see you guys in my next video, which will be for my review of, which will be for a movie review. And Kaden, what's your next video?
Probably a review of a movie called Horns.
Also, Kaden, give them your social medias.
I am.
Not Tumblr. Not Tumblr. No Tumblr.
No, not Tumblr. That's Tumblr. I am on. I'm of course I'm on YouTube. I am on also Facebook. Kane the Plant. You can friend me on Facebook. I am at Kane the Plant, just simply at Kane the Plant. On Twitter, I am Kid the Plant or TheKIdofAwesome, whatever, on Instagram. I am on SoundCloud, but I barely do anything on that, and I'm also on Vine.
Yeah, so definitely hit him up on that. Awesome kid. I'm so happy you did this with me. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed these reviews. Sorry if they were a little bit dry. We're just starting out, so we had some connectivity issues. Plus, it's 12:26 at night. We're both kind of tired.
Yeah, I gotta go eat breakfast at 10:30 in the morning. So.
What?
Yeah, don't ask.
Okay, well, I'm gonna ask you after this review. All right, bye, guys.
Okay, bye. And thank you guys for watching this.
Yeah, bye. Peace.